Welcome to Politics and Policies on this beautiful day. My name is Ramsey Enoch. We want to look at NEPA and, of course, which is now PHCN. Nigeria's electricity development history dates back to the late 19th century with the first generating power plant in Lagos, and that is way back in 1898. From then until 1950, electricity development was scattered across towns, with some by federal, native, and municipal authorities. The acronym NEPA famously has two possible meanings. Well, the first is what it is originally meant to designate, and that is the National Electric Power Authority. But then blackouts are often met with the exclamation, NEPA has taken light, okay? I know this will remind someone of a situation. As a matter of fact, the second popular interpretation is that NEPA stands for never expect power, always, okay? All right, despite being Africa's top energy producer and having one of the world's largest gas reservoirs, over 50% of Nigerians lack access to electricity, affecting daily life and determining access and exclusion. The power holding company of Nigeria, that is PHCN, was privatized into AEDC and the rest of them. Of course, joining me on the discussion today is Engineer Dr. Mazi Akubuko. He is a general manager, okay, of course, in Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, that is AEDC, yes. And that is from the Niger region. Well, it's good to have you today, Engineer.
It's a pleasure. I'm grateful.
Well, let's begin like this. Yes. I'm so excited. Yes. When I get to know that you were actually a manager, and he's actually retired now. Yes. So how was service like?
Well, it was fantastic because during my services, I witnessed when the NEPA, after the merging of Niger, Northern and PW, two of them make up and becomes NEPA. And during this period in questions, it was fantastic in the sense that almost all the head of department in the electricity distribution chain are being headed by engineers. So it was fantastic. Although it wasn't a kind of a money-making, but it's a social service.
And people were so excited doing it.
So, and there was a serious plan going, at least that if you look at this one, forecasting is one. They look at the configuration of what we have in the around and projects. And after the projections of the power forecast, it will not be overwhelmed because they are going according to. This period in question I'm talking to you, there is a lot of areas they created something like London office, like on the that is NEPA London office, NEPA here and there. And the main functions is that if there is any problems in Nigeria, they will float within 24 hours. The equipment involved will be floated
in from London.
Yes, and
but do we still have things like that in place?
No, because you see, now it is private partnership.
Okay, when it was NEPA,
yes,
the London office.
Not London office. It was then. What I mean is that the kind of policies they have at that time.
It's different now.
NEPA. That is not existing now. A typical example is that if you look at the engineers, they were well trained.
Okay, that is NEPA engineers.
NEPA engineers.
So are you trying to say PHCN engineers are not properly trained?
No. Up to sometimes. Because what happens with the engineers is that NEPA recruits 2 years. After they recruit engineers all over and post them. And they will pass through all the electricity value chains, generation, transmissions, distribution, and marketing. So immediately after that test program, you'll be posted out to go start practicing. So this is one of the kind of training they have, which is not now, it's not in the existence. So that makes sense because power, you see, remains the heartbeat of any nation. If you can get power right, I've gotten every other thing because electricity they're talking of is.
But I think I'm so excited that you are talking like this, and with your position as a general manager, having to tell us the importance of power. But NEPA is always known for blackout.
Not at all.
We felt Nigerians thought they don't know the importance of power.
Let me tell you, in this period in question I'm talking to you, before there's a form we call Form 74. Or it's still existing but now. That is application for power supply. You get that, they come to your house, assess what you have, and look at the configuration of the equipment that is serving you. You understand? If it is not something that will carry a load, they'll ask you to wait. You understand? And it must be ruled wait. Nobody, that form will be questioned and kept by the side.
But they don't do those things now. You see people
because,
do.
You know, already now, it is now private partnership. It's no longer.
No, sir.
The kind of policy.
Engineer.
Yes.
Hold it for a minute.
Yes.
Because you're trying to give me so many belief, and you're trying to make me fall in love with NEPA right now.
Yes.
But then there is this belief that Nigerians have about NEPA. One, that they are being stingy with electricity.
Not at all.
Now you are saying, well, before you are being given light, NEPA comes and check your appliances, what you have, and see if the power is commensurate before you are actually being connected. But right now,
and not
before PHCN comes, sir, before I'm coming, before PHCN came in, even NEPA, we saw that NEPA, we are doing what we call I don't want to call it illegal connection, but there were connections everywhere. That thing that you said, that check, they were not doing it at a point before PHCN took over. So why was it like that? You are a general manager.
No, yes.
Is it that the heads don't know
what
about
happens
this?
now? So many of the policies have been overlapped. One is that during the NEPA period, just as I told you that, they recruit the engineers to 2 years interval for the continuity of the life of the industry. And they train them for 2 good years. Are you listening to me? So after that now, you will start practice. You will be posted out as a people officer. From there now, you start growing at the rank. And there was no manipulation. You have a career path to follow. So that career path places you at an interval of 3 years, you will be tested and be given promotions. If you fail, you wait. And
so what you're trying to tell me now is that during your time, you can only get into the system if you are a professional. And then you will also be trained.
Other subsidiary staffs are in account, marketing, audits, include that, so many other things. But I'm talking precisely on the life of the industry. On the life of the industry, recruit engineers. Because NEPA is an engineering company, and their main aim is to ensure that they give people steady state power supply.
But there was no steady state power supply. So it means they were not doing their job.
No.
We never had it in Nigeria. Did you have a steady power supply in Nigeria? No. Was there steady? Okay, I think I'm going to hold you by your words as a general manager.
Exactly,
you said, well, these people were recruited so that the people can have a steady power supply.
No,
but we never had it. Why?
The continuity of the life of the industry. Because as people are aging out, the new one recruited are taking over.
Okay, so that NEPA can continue.
Yes.
But what about the power generated?
That is exactly what I'm telling you. Those people recruited will be nice because there's something we call electricity power value chain. That electricity value chain comprises the generation, transmission, distribution, and marketing. So now, after recruiting those engineers, they train them. They go through all the
The processes.
Yes, through generation, through transmission. Then it becomes a game of luck. Anywhere you find yourself,
you can fit in.
That is.
All right, let me ask
a
this
typical example
now.
is that I myself, I find myself in the distribution. And throughout my career, I work through that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is.
All right. Let me ask you the next question now.
Yeah.
Let's look at the privatization of NEPA. I believe it was not when NEPA was privatized that you were retired.
No.
Okay.
After privatization, I was fully involved.
Okay. Let me ask you.
Because
now.
one is after privatization, I was still choosing, selected to be working up to. That's why, because when I was in NEPA PSN, I was a principal manager distribution. That's why that is my title then.
Okay.
After that now, I got area manager. Then they becomes area managers and senior managers. All these nomenclatures. And
you really grew. You really grew. You grew very well in NEPA.
This nomenclature. So from there now, I get up to assistant general manager. In same Nigerian because I was area manager in Use here. From there, I was promoted and assistant general.
Okay, let me ask you now.
Yes.
The decision to privatize NEPA, was it a thoughtful one? The decision?
No.
Was it good enough for Nigerians?
It's a good policy, but it was wrongly taken. Okay. Wrongly taken in the sense that the people who has that intention to privatize has a very good intention. But you cannot privatize what you don't have. It's just like somebody looking for, who have no money and looking for a change. What could have been done at that juncture is that they would have used Abuja as a case study. You privatize Abuja and leave others to keep on existing. If you finally gotten Abuja right, you cannot use it as in another region. But all we are privatized when we don't have enough sufficient generation, power supply to give people. So it becomes the national swindle. And again, now those policies of recruitment has been now divided. Each of the zone recruit according
for
to
themselves, the way they want.
It's no longer the government intention and their policies. That is where...
Yeah, that is why it's privatization, because everyone does what they want.
You can only privatize what you have. If you don't have power, you cannot privatize power. It's just like somebody who went to store. You put something, you don't have anything in the store, and you're asking people to come and buy. What would they buy? So this, and if you look at the rate of development, you see it's just like a flood. Abuja, for example, Abuja, in the early 2000s, it's not Abuja now. You understand? So, and as people are building houses, they needed power to make life, to enjoy their house. If you don't give them legally, they will take it illegally. You understand? And now, any country that goes into a kind of quota system will not get the best. Because examination is set up for me and you. Are you listening to me? So it is just like that. So that is what at that juncture, if you leave the best and go for them. So
the privatization is not a good
it's a good one, but it was
the motive behind it.
Yeah, it was not.
But then let me ask you this now. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of things that were going on wrongly. People were complaining about NEPA so much, such that during the privatization, a lot of people were happy, saying they were going to have lights now because it's going to get into the hands of individuals.
They don't know the meaning. Because the engineers who did the work said, privatize only Abuja. If we succeed in Abuja, we can advance. But the whole system we are privatized. And when you privatize now, as a managing director of a company, you do your own. Although government still has an equity share to control. But the decision and the daily activities is centered on.
But let me ask you. I'm actually asking you this question because you are someone that has been in the system and you went up the ladder. There is this behavior, with NEPA, PACN, AEDC, whatever they call them, the issue of metering, and because sometimes the reason why a lot of people hated NEPA, some persons don't like to hear the name. You see people running courses, all right, on NEPA, PACN, AEDC, and all of that all the time, because one, they don't get the power. But these people come to collect the money, whether or not there is power. So how can you relate this? Are they being fair? Then you talk about disconnection, the way people are being disconnected. Let's talk about the policy, enforcement of policy, the way people at the field, because whatever they do in the field, on the field, yes, all right, affects the whole system. Everybody will say NEPA. They won't say marketers. All right. Like when you say you are a general manager of AEDC, okay, I was like, okay, this is one of them. All right. So what do you think? The policy, the behavior of these people who go to disconnect, the marketers and all of that, and the fact that most times you are paying for what you're not getting. How can we marry that? Don't you think those were some of the reasons why this privatization became necessary at a point?
Well, the issue of disconnection, next is in a place. And if you feel your right has been infringed, you can start, going for legal protection. If somebody abuses his office, you can report him to NEC. And NEC will do their function because they are that is one. And secondly, meet as an instrument. That's what I was telling you. Under normal circumstances, if all is well, as they are connecting light to you, they are fixing meter. Because meter is an instrument.
But the meters are not there.
That is what I'm telling you. Because you wanted it. A typical example, you said, look, I want light, na. Everybody go because they run. At the end of it, it may be to a disadvantage. Because the purpose of the meter is an electronics device used for the measurement of energy consumed. And if hence the meter is not there, the issue...
They go by estimation.
Thank you. You can be estimated high or low. And now, if NEC has given guidelines on disconnections. And if you sleep 1 week, the name is known. When somebody sleeps 1 week, what is the name? It's dead. It's no longer... So they give you a specific time to pay. But if you say an average Nigerian man doesn't want to pay that.
But as a general manager, yes, do you think, are you satisfied? Because when these things happen, yes, now you're mentioning NEC, all right? The average Nigerian who is consuming this power does not even know there is anything like NEC.
And they know.
And that's the no, they don't.
People have been going there.
That is people who know, but majority don't know. Majority don't know. Okay, when you are a general manager, yes, haven't you seen people come to gather in your office with different complaints?
With different protests.
I
suffered one of the most dangerous protests in Bida, Niger State. They call them Bidaites. Understand? But I was able to manage them. They said no light. I said, this is what they gave me to give you. I cannot go beyond my abilities.
But don't you think?
Because that is what is existing within that period. If they should give. No, in short, electricity can never be conserved according to the law of energy.
Okay, it cannot conserve because
you just bring it as you just move. You understand? Don't conserve it.
Oh, I think you are making a revelation here, because I've heard people say, well, they want to conserve it, they don't want to give it to people because they have been given targets. But the issue of the way complaints are being handled, all right, as a general manager,
yes,
you've handled a lot of complaints.
Exactly.
If I come to your office as an aggrieved electricity user, as a consumer, and I begin to say, well, I don't have light. They came, they collected money. Still, the light is not there. They are coming back again to collect this, our pole, this, our meter, this, and all of that. With that complaint, don't you think at that point in time, you can't say, well, what you need to do is go to maybe neck. If you said that, that's going to aggravate something.
No, why I said neck was when you said somebody abusing his office, like indiscriminate disconnections. When you are disconnected,
so the manager cannot query the marketer who comes to disconnect.
No, if you report and somebody is becoming so, nuisance about.
Okay, because some managers also compromise.
Then you may decide to leave the person and go for the regular.
So meaning
but
managers
if you
compromise
come
too.
The time I was there, when you come to my office, I will sit you down. And when I sit you down, I will try to understand why you are there. If it is one I can go, I will leave my office and go with you. Because we are there for you. When you pay your bill, we will collect our salary. And that our salary we collect is what we used to pay for our children's school fees. That's what our wife uses to go to market. That's what we use it to go to the hospital. So I can't be somebody that, a fool that we said I will like, no. Because you are like God. We treat customers like God.
But a lot of consumers don't get that treatment.
No.
Because the marketers, sometimes you see the way they behave when they come to disconnect, when they come to collect NEPA bill.
Yeah.
You see, especially now that the price goes up all the time. All right.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that because I'm going to talk.
That thing again,
just hold your thought a minute. Let's go on a quick break. Okay. After this break, when we return, we'll talk more about electricity tariff, disconnection, and increase on a daily basis. We will be back.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. Politics and Policy, still live on your screen. With my guest in the studio right here, Engineer Dr. Mazi Akubuko, a retired general manager, all right, of AEDC. And of course, as it is, he's been answering our question. And I still want to ask him more questions. I said when we return, we'll talk about increase, okay, because they will come today, especially now. All right. They will come today. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company will come to your house today. This month, they will collect. Next month, as they are coming, the next bill, there is going to be an increment. What is increasing it on a monthly basis like that when there is no power supply? Because you said it from the beginning that the quantity of power that is available, all right, okay, cannot go round. And for that reason, there was supposed to be a test run before the privatization.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, you said?
What I said
You said they would have test run privatization. Before the privatization, they would have privatized maybe only Abuja before they extend it to other parts of Nigeria.
That's what I said.
Okay, so as a matter of fact, why the monthly increase? Because as a general manager, you should know, because most of the instructions come from the general managers, especially when they are on hot seat, because we're made to understand that some of them are being given targets. So why the monthly increase when the power supply is not there?
No, the customers are getting it wrong. Getting it wrong in the sense that is why the purpose of energy meter is to measure the quantity of energy consumed. That's what at that juncture, that's what I was trying to explain to you. And now, at times, you see there is disparities in your energy consumption, which means that month you consumed more. You understand? Your energy consumption is not static, it's dynamic. So now, the period in question, if you have power supply all through, you should not expect to pay when there is a lot of a kind of, it is becoming some epileptic. You understand? You say that during the period of, if maybe your transformer has a problem and you're out of the power supply, you can now be able to,
you have a case. But what about
that is one.
Estimated
and maybe the light is not constant, at that period you should not expect to pay high. But I told you that if you underestimate, which you're demanded for, because you want...
No, nobody...
No, you demand, because one is that when you want power supply, you want it by all means. You don't know what it will cost. You understand? And it's okay. If you can sign this form for us on direct connection, we'll give you.
But then, let me say this now, okay? Is direct connection wrong? Is it wrong?
It's not wrong.
Okay.
No, but
then,
you should not
whose fault is it when the meter is not available? Because if I say, give me light, and you say, this is meter, if I can afford light, I should be able to afford the meter. But when the meter is not available and you are connecting me directly, okay, because sometimes the meter, you don't know when it's going to come.
On direct.
The bill on direct, you connecting directly, it's not your fault because the meter is not there to give you. And you need this power.
And we want to satisfy our customer.
And then you begin to do estimated billing, then it gets outrageous. Why is it always outrageous? Or what is what do they use? Okay, what are the things they put in place to do this estimation, for the measurement of this estimated bill?
Okay, one now is that if we put a transformer for you in an area, we meter that transformer. The energy that goes into that area from the transformer is being recorded on the meter. You understand? Now, some of you who have meter, you don't need because you recharge. And we can never lose the energy. You understand? So that is the area now. And if you look at the way they configured it, it means that energy you must recoup it. Because already, if you go
it's been used.
The transmission that send the energy, you must pay. If you say you pity this side, if you go to transformer, you pay. And if transformer go to generation, they will pay. Are you listening now? That is the chain we are talking about. You understand?
So as it is now, if I understand you,
yes.
If I understood what you said,
exactly.
It means since you don't have meter, they go to the transformer.
No. We meter the transformer.
And
whatever energy that utilize in that axis,
they share it to the various
recorded.
houses.
No, people who have meter are recharging. Because if you don't recharge, you won't have power supply. Are you listening to me? Now, you who don't have,
yes,
can be either underbuild or overbuild. That is the reason why.
Why overbuild? What are the...
No, this time around, we look at what you have been consuming. And based on that, we look at how the thing will look like. Nobody will overbuild you. We look at what you have been, even when you have a meter, if you have a meter, probably your meter got burnt. You understand? They look at what you have.
What if you don't have a meter at all? If you've never had a meter? Because
before they give you light now, there's something we call load analysis. And load analysis are load measurements carried out from your load before they bill you.
Okay, they go into your house to
check
what
that's
you
what
have.
I'm... Yes,
but they don't do it these days.
No, they do. They do.
Nobody have done it to me before. Yes.
They do.
I've lived in
you won't
places.
even know what that if you don't ask.
Nobody has entered my house to say, okay, you are using
the
this.
The time you are requesting for direct connection, as the power they take the load reading, and whatever that the load analysis they got is what they will use as a basic for load measurement.
Oh, okay. We're talking about this now. As a Nigerian that you
yes.
are, despite what you're saying, you know, and I know
yes.
that there is no constant power supply in Nigeria. And it has affected a lot of businesses.
Yes.
It has affected a lot of homes.
Yes.
So what is the best policy, all right, that can be put in place to ensure adequate power supply? Or what do you think should be done? Because all Nigerians are saying is that there should be power supply. And the reason why I'm asking you is because you were a general manager. So you should know all of this.
I'm a stakeholder.
It's a stakeholder, okay? Because Nigerians, I tell you the truth, the way people pour courses on NEPA, you know, every minute.
And the police.
So you are even aware. He's even aware. So what do we do? What policy do you think should be put in place, all right, for us to have a steady power supply in Nigeria?
We don't need to. That thing is not far. That was initially, I said, that power remained the heartbeat of any nation.
Every nation, yes.
You understand? If government, because governments, even if on the privatized, company, government has a share, and the participant has a share. You understand? Left for me, if I would have suggested, the privatization would have been from that distribution aspect of it, not generation. Because if we look what we have average of 200 Nigerians. And what are we regulating now? 6,000 megawatts, 7,000 megawatts. If you divide it by each household, you will see we are nowhere. That is one.
But this same country give electricity to some other countries. Now. How do they do it?
You see now, just as I said before, the transmission gives you what they have. Generation, they go to generation and buy what they generated. You understand? And they give you to sell. After selling now, you return the money. And through that is what we call chain. Like chain is just like this is the house, this is the conveyor, the transmission, and this is distribution. Yeah. Distribution. That go marketers and consumers. This one is like this, and if you come here, it will come back here. So that is how this one is.
Generated,
whatever it is, generated that is available. The transmitter takes it to distribution to share, to sell, and after selling, the distributor returns the money back to the transmitter via.
But are you aware that Nigeria is giving lights to any country? As a general manager of
we have
AEDC.
a bilateral agreement. That one is not. It's a government policy. Like China give us scholarship.
But can you give what you don't have? Something that is not sufficient for you as a nation.
It depends on.
Or it's not affecting. Doesn't mean it's not affecting.
It's affecting, but it's a policy. A typical example: if we have a dam in the area and they block our dam, we won't have water again. We have not done ourselves any justice.
Okay, I now understand.
You understand? So we say before you build a dam, what will be our own? You just talk of. Give us this, okay. If we agree on that, you put this an international agreement.
Okay, meaning the dam is in their place, and that is where power is being generated.
Like the water flowing.
Okay,
if the water. If they dam the water.
Okay.
You have nothing to.
Meaning power will not be generated anymore.
From that, not anymore. But another way around, another way we can achieve it was. Who are the stakeholders in this industry? The government is a stakeholder, federal government, state government is a stakeholder, and other the federal government agencies, including you understand, consumer is a stakeholder. You understand? Because consumer is part. If you go to the hospital, you see doctor, you see nurse, you see patient, you see everybody they're made up of the hospital.
All right. Finally, before I let you go, all right. Let's assume, as a general manager, a retired general manager.
I was trying to say something before. So now, these stakeholders, if to go by what we have in mind, if you look at Nigeria, it's 36 states, and if you can look at each of the zone, can give us 3 megawatts. We'll have enough. Because if we have power today, I don't know whether you have been when Ajokuta was in existence. The whole country in the whole world was in Ajokuta. You understand? So it will address the issue of employment. Are you listening to me? But because of no power, everybody's running away from there.
Yes.
And becomes we have break into the country. One unemployment in our boss, I'm robber, everything big. But if you keep somebody busy,
so but as it is right now,
yeah.
do you wish NEPA return?
Yeah, not even if you want to return, okay. If you doesn't want to return, but the state government, each of the region, like Niger Delta, give us 4 megawatts because power consumes money, consumes time, consumes manpower. Are you listening to me? Then Northwest give us 3 megawatts through wind. Northeast give us 3 megawatts through solar, and Southeast give us through hydro, and part of equally Western give us. If we calculate 3 plus 3 plus 3 into 7, it's 21. And if we have 21, I know some of them can give 5, so that we cannot. Because I'm not seeing the possibility saying that each state will flood it, because if you start it, they won't be able to do it.
All right.
Look at
meaning as it is right now. I don't know, but then,
yes.
Okay, do you wish we go back to NEPA or PHCN?
No, the decision is for the government.
Which is better for you?
Because
Which is better for you?
A typical example is that some of the policies of government that were favored are there. Some people that were not favored were there. A typical example is that now is that in terms of recruitment, you won't go for the best because it was national before. And now the expansion that is taking place, if we don't have anybody, the NEPA 2 will harvest their product. You understand? So some of this is the decision of the government. If they look at critically that they want to remain how they are, so they look for another alternative to make up all the differences. But if they said, okay, we're not moving forward, so the decision is theirs. Not
all right. Well, this is going to be the size of politics and policy today. Thank you very much.
I'm grateful.
Engineer Dr. Mazi. It's good to have
a pleasure.
It's good to have you on the program today. But then I think one thing that I will not forget is the fact that you are quite aware that a lot of people rain courses on NEPA, and you even added the law enforcement agents. All right, thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Well, this is going to be the size of politics and policies today. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Have a beautiful day.
It's a pleasure.